How's it going, everybody? This week I wanted to talk about something I haven't talked about yet this year, and that's just some tournament organization and stuff like that of my tackle. I'll probably do this in a multi-part series. The first thing I'm going to talk about is kind of how I like to break down my tackle into smaller boxes like this. I'm actually preparing for a tournament that I'm going to have down at Havasu next month. The FLW is coming up, and I'm just fishing it as a co-angler. So what I like to do is take a lot of tackle and compress it into as small of a package as I can. I don't have like a tackle bag like a Plano or anything like that. I just kind of get like a bag, you know, a duffel bag type thing, and fit as much as I can into that bag because I'll be tight for space and stuff like that. So I think it's really important to be able to use a smaller box like this here. This is just a Plano, you know, one of the 360 sizes. This happens to be a waterproof box because there's a lot of terminal tackle in it. Really what I like to do is make a box for each type of technique that I'm doing. As you can see here, I have two boxes. This is kind of like my worm fishing and drop shot setup right here. These two boxes make up all of it. All the worms and stuff like that that I'm going to throw down there in Havasu. The reason I downsize to those smaller boxes, I can fit so many more in a duffel bag instead of having 370 boxes where I get kind of tight for space and there's a lot of airspace in those. So as you can see, my worms here, I don't like to use the dividers to separate them. I just keep them in the packages. I cut the packages off right below the label. That way it kind of has a neat little carrying case for the worms themselves. So I can get in this box and kind of pick out just, you know, if I wanted this color, I think it's Pro Blue Neon, I can get that color. There's some reds and pinks and browns and stuff like that in there. So you can see that it's an easy way. It doesn't look necessarily that organized from the top view, but it is actually pretty organized. All the colors are separate. They're not mixing with each other. And there's probably a good 15 bags of worms in here, different colors, and there'll probably be a few more by the time I finally head down. Anyways, I've done the worm wallet thing. I'm not really a big fan. It takes too much time to get out what I want. Here I can open up this box, see all the colors that I want. If I'm catching them on a certain color, I can just grab that color and go. It's almost like having a pack in your pocket, you know. Open it up, grab what you need. So there we go. That's how I store my robo worms for a tournament. You can see underneath that there's quite a few colors in there. A lot of multiples. Keep it fairly simple. Browns, greens, purples, dark colors, and then like shad colors. And then as far as my weights go, I want to make sure that I have enough hooks and weights for the tournament. I think I've got probably my favorite drop shot hook is a size 2 Gamakatsu split shot drop shot. So you can see I start out with 1, and I have some packs of 2s here, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 4, 4, 1, 1, 1 aught. So big variation of hooks. There's probably about, you know, 10 or so packs, maybe 12. And then what else I have in here is just some lead wire that just happened to be in there, but some nail weights. I like using these thicker lead nail weights because you can get a pretty heavy fall and still have a small profile opposed to these tin nail weights, which are pretty good but not as purposeful in my opinion. Got a couple things full of darter heads and then a whole bunch of drop shot weights. I'll probably be drop shotting quite a bit. So anyways, that's my kind of condensed storage for those two, you know, couple techniques. Just my worm fishing stuff for Havasu. Of course, it's not fully done. I'll get some other things, you know, tactic-wise in those boxes to save space. I'm going to be flying down, so that's really important too. But anyways, all my drop shot stuff, all my worm stuff, boom, it takes up that much space in the boat. I'll be throwing worms a lot. It's a way that I like to condense it. I'll make a 360 box for almost each given tactic. It means I can grab a box, see what it says on it or whatever, look inside it, and then I'm already ready to go for that technique. Opposed to having the 370 box with a whole bunch of stuff in it, and I can only fit maybe like 10 in a bag. I can fit 20 or 25 of those, and I can have a drop shot and Nico box right next to a rattle trap box, jerkbait box, crankbait box, jig box, you know, and so forth. So that's the organization method that's kind of worked for me over the years. It started out kind of like your standard, you know, a lot of worms and worm wallets and keeping them in the plastic bags and stuff. It takes up too much room. It takes too much time to open them. Downsizing to really small individual boxes, it's a little more expensive to have to buy all the boxes, but once you get the stockpile of them, it's not so bad. So maybe check it out if you fish a lot of tournaments. It's a good way to be able to conserve space, conserve time when you're out there on the water, and just put them into smaller boxes, keep them organized, make sure you know what you have and where it is. So maybe save you a couple minutes on the water, catch a fish that'll win you the tournament. Thanks for viewing. Stay tuned for next week.